Hi, and welcome to Accessibility with Meg. This is Meg, and today we are going to touch on the topic of the VPAT and ACR. What the VPAT and ACR stand for are: VPAT stands for Voluntary Product Accessibility Template. Now, this is a standardized document format created by the Information Technology Industry Council, or the ITI. And what it does is that vendors use this to describe how their products and services conform to accessibility standards. Let's think of it as a structured questionnaire or a template. It's the form, not the completed evaluation itself. Okay, so VPAT is like a blank ACR. So this is like the form or the standard that we work with to create this conformance report. Now, an ACR, which is also the Accessibility Conformance Report, this is the actual completed document. Okay, so VPAT is used mostly as the template, and the ACR is the filled out VPAT, if you will. Okay, so the actual the distinction is just that this is a blank template or format, and the ACR is the filled in report based on that template. So people often use VPAT loosely to refer to an ACR and vice versa. Okay, so they are used interchangeably, but technically the difference is just that the VPAT is a template and the ACR is that filled out document. So why do these documents exist, right? Organizations, especially those selling to government agencies, universities, and large enterprises, they use ACRs to demonstrate whether their digital products, like the software, websites, apps, the hardware, etc., meet accessibility requirements. So this helps procurement teams evaluate whether a product will work for people with disabilities before purchasing it. Now, the standards they reference, the VPAT and ACR, typically evaluates conformance against one or more standards like VCAG. So VCAG 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, AAA, AAA. This is mostly for web and digital content, right? So it's web content accessibility guidelines, and they when we are talking about a digital product, that's mostly what we are going to be working with. It needs to conform to VCAG standards. Section 508, so this is a US federal accessibility requirement, and it's again it aligns with VCAG 2.0 AA, and today everybody tries to align with 2.1 AA. Right, EN 301549. This is a European accessibility standard for ICT procurement. Right, so these need to like together they give the buyers a standardized way to evaluate digital accessibility before they commit to something. So what can you find within a ACR, right? Um, a completed ACR generally includes product information like the name, version, date, contact information, etc. The evaluation methods, so how conformance was tested. So what are the automated tools that were used, or the manual testing that was done, the assistive technology testing, etc., that was carried out on that product, right? So the evaluation methods should be clear. Applicable standards and guidelines. So which version and conformance level are we catering to? For example, we are going to be working with VCAG 2.1 AA level for this website, for example, right? So those standards, and then what are the the government standards or the laws that we are catering to. So maybe for Canada, we are doing we are trying to meet with ACA or AMA. So and then the terms used to describe conformance levels for each criteria. So we have what we call conformance ratings, right? Um, and you also have a remarks column after each rating. So you would be able to say, what is the detail behind this rating? So why did we rate it this way? Now, support meets the criteria. It fully meets the criterion. Partially supports, it meets some but not all the aspects, right? Does not support, so majority does not meet the criterion. Not applicable, sometimes things are not applicable. So you say criterion doesn't apply to the product, that's not applicable. And not evaluated is that there are some things, for example, say, uh, things like the AAA criterion, which is not within scope, right? So something not within scope would not be evaluated. So that would be here. So that's what you would have within a ACR broadly. And here is just a sample ACR document, view. It's just an excerpt of a sample ACR. So, and this is also just a very simplified look. I mean, it's more complicated than this. There would be more columns and things like that, but these are the main things that you would have. Things like what's the VPAT criterion that you're meeting? What is the level? What's the type of conformance, the different types that we just spoke about. So what's the type of conformance that is being met? And there would be remarks, a section of remarks, which basically will tell you why this is the conformance level, or this VPAT criterion, how has it been met. Okay. This would also have, things, other details like what is the test that was carried out, what is the element we're talking about, things like that as well. So for the entire report, say we take the criterion 1.1.1, which is non-text content, which is a level A requirement, and we have tested that it is supported completely. So all images carry appropriate alt text verified with screen reader. So this is like an overall, and to make sure that all of these criterion are met and it passes, right? And this report will tell you that basically. Thank you so much. This brings us to close to this very small video. And thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment if you will. And I'll see you again in another video. Thanks and bye-bye.